Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode with Leaders Lighthouse with your Beacon of Leadership team. I'm RJ Horner, Beacon of Life and Leadership, along with our team.
Curtis Leong, Beacon of Positivity.
And
Linda Tilson, Beacon of Team Empowerment.
And like I said, we are your Beacon of Leadership team. We've been having some great discussions here revolving around the self-confidence formula. Now, our purpose here is to speak to thought leaders, to help them develop a more competent and confident practice. But we thought this self-confidence formula was very important to anybody for self-leadership as well as leading others. And so I'll read out the passage because today we've been talking about reflecting and reflection. And so I'll read out the passage from the third step in the self-confidence formula from Think and Grow Rich. I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object back of it. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. And so really, that's what we're talking about today, is that minimum of 10 minutes devoted to yourself, to the person that you are becoming, the person that you want to be or see yourself as. So what I always say, and then for me, I do spend more than 10 minutes imagining my life. In fact, it's always in the background. I don't stop imagining the person that I am becoming. I know, look, I tell people all the time, I'm RJ Horner. I know who I am. I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm doing to get there. That doesn't happen by accident. It comes by constantly keeping that attention foremost in my mind. So in order to develop as the person I want to become, that requires daily practice, daily influence of the person, like my own actions and influence towards that person I'm going to become. So I spend, 10 minutes or more. In fact, it's a lot more each day where I've got my head in a book. I'm learning something new that I can apply to my life, especially in the area of leadership. I have leadership books over my left shoulder in my library, just constantly absorbing the information and the knowledge that's in those books. And then of course there's always audios and I call it, we've heard the term auto university, right? Where most of us have a commute where we're on our way to work for a period of time, whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, some of us it's an hour or more. Why not take advantage of that time? And first of all, you can spend time in meditation, thinking of that person. But when you read that information, like in that book, or you take in that audio or watch that video, how do I apply this to the person I want to become? Really, that's what it's about, is that devotion of, now the book says 10 minutes, but for me, it's more than that daily. So what do you guys do? How do you guys envision your own lives? What do you want for yourselves? And then how do you take that influence? How do you take that knowledge in and apply it to yourselves?
You've said a lot of things here that I really embody. And so you're right. It's a lot of times it's more than taking 10 minutes. It is not like you set aside 10 minutes and that's all you do is meditate or think about how you are becoming. For me, it's a little bit different. I will take 10 minutes at the start of every day to put my intentions about how I'm going to show up, what my role is, and how I'm going to bring others with me, that influence. And every single action, I'm not thinking about I'm becoming a beacon of team empowerment. I am the beacon of team empowerment. And when I show up, I'm thinking about, okay, what is the lens that I want to convey here in this conversation? What is the lens of where we want to go with a team, an individual, a result that we're looking for. And so I don't turn it off. I can't turn it off. That's how you know, is when you have that clarity on who you are and you know how you want to show up. You set the intention and you just do it. And I'll catch myself. I'll be in a conversation where I'm mentoring a young person. I might be sharing my thoughts on where somebody could do some problem solving and really ask them some powerful questions like, how do you know that you've turned off the problem? How are you going to get the information when it's not already there? And so the conversations are just running through me. And when they're coming through me and I'm interacting, the people around me are getting that inspiration. They're getting that light. They're getting those aha moments. And I'm stepping aside and allowing them to step in that space. And so really, that's all it is. But I didn't always know what my specialty is. I always knew that my role in life since 12 years old is to empower others to have a voice, empower others to have a belief, to take people when they're in a dark space and give them hope. I've always done that, but I didn't solidify it until I started like listening to how other people see me. And I thought, oh, that's how they see me. That's my gift. Oh, well, I do that because I am. It's part of who I am. It's part of what I do. And then I thought, well, now that I've had that reflection, given back to me, I can step into it. And I've had several mentors. I've had several coaches. I've had several life lessons where I got to learn what it is that I value and want, the things that I don't want, all of those things. And so you can tell I'm really passionate about this topic as we get into it, because it wasn't until the reflection piece started to come into play that I knew a little bit closer to who I am and how Linda wants to show up and what she wants to give the world. And so what I want to give the world is the space, the encouragement, the energy, the capacity, even to some extent, to go do those things that they want to do, whatever they are.
Very good, Linda. I like that. For me, self-reflections, usually I do about 10 minutes in the morning. But like you guys both said, you guys do more of that during the day. So for me, that's more like affirmations for the day for me. Because like you always say that, RJ always say, you talk about who you are and all that, right? That's more like an affirmation through the day that reminds you of what you had for your reflection of the day. That's how I look at that. I think with self-reflection, it helps you gain perspective on your life, because people don't think about what they're doing. They just do, right? Like, oh, just my day to day, they just like, it's like a rerun. It's like Groundhog Day for a lot of people, right? But if you actually have intention, you think about what you're doing, and then you can respond effectively to different things in your life. Like a lot of times, like, you just go on, blah, 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 but the day, things will pop up and you react instead of knowing, okay, I don't have to write this. I can either make a choice to do or not to do the thing. But then if you're reflecting on your life, you know, like, you can react positively or negatively to each situation, right? And you can actually weigh the difference, I find, if you actually have those reflection points in your life. Because a lot of people just are reactionary. So they can come up and they react to it instead of like reflecting on, okay, why did this happen? Oh, maybe I did this by accident, or maybe I need to do something better next time, right? Because of the situation, you gotta ask yourself questions to think, okay, I did this. Was it my fault? Someone else's fault? Do I need to take responsibility for this thing? And just like that sort of idea, right? It's not necessarily your fault for everything or someone else's fault. It's just a matter of how you react and how you want to react to something, right? Because like remember how you used to be always angry, RJ, about stuff? You change that, right? So now you reflect differently upon things. You might look at someone else's point of view. Like if you're driving down the road, driving a car, someone cuts you off, you don't say beep beep, you whatever, right? Yeah, I'm sure you fill the blanks in there. But anyhow, it's just now it's like, oh, maybe the guy's in a hurry. Oh, whatever, he didn't hit me, thank God, or whatever. Instead of just get angry at the person cut you off, you say, oh, whatever, I don't care. Maybe he's in a hurry, maybe he needs to get in that spot, whatever. You let it be, right? So that's how I like to look at my reflection. It's not necessarily someone's doing something against you, but it's just like your reaction to it, right? So once you start reflecting on your life and have that awareness of it, I think it makes it better factor. And I think the 10-minute thing is just a starting point for your day, right? Because a lot of people who read the book are not even at that level, right? Perhaps, but over time, it's like, okay, yeah, 10 minutes is not enough. I need more. It might take all day, right? You reflect on everything. So that's my thought on that. But it helps you learn your life, right? So what else do
Absolutely.
you think, RJ?
Yeah, no, and like you said, you know, especially for those people who pick this book up for the first time, they've heard, you know, oh, you got to read this book, right? How
Yeah.
many people have said that you have to read Think and Grow Rich? So if you picked up this book for the first time and you're just reading this passage, you know what, you may not be skilled at reflecting or spending that 10 minutes
Yeah.
on setting your intentions, as Linda said. We just drift, right? Even she said it. You know what, helping people and empowering people is just what I do, right? And if you live with that attitude or that belief, you can just drift through life, right? Just, you know, doing what you do, but not not serving people or not receiving your just rewards for that service, right? Whereas we are creating something here because we had a vision for it, because we're working towards it. And like you said, Linda, you know what? You do it for us. And I've said it to you before. I've said it to the people out there. Look, we've been waiting for you because Curtis and I have been working on this business for the last couple of years. And we've been doing what we do. We've been putting plans in place. We've been, you know, doing what we need to do or what we thought we need to do, but we haven't been documented in the process. We haven't been detail oriented and organizing based on those details. So we needed that skill within our team. And so I'm so grateful you've come to us. But you also not only do that, but you send out these messages pretty much every day on, okay, so what are you guys doing today? What is it we need to get done? And maybe sending little reminders of, okay, have you done this? Do we need to get this done? So that we're in communication with each other and we're spending that time in a little powwow session through our chats, right? Like we're inspiring each other. So we keep envisioning what the future is going to bring and working towards that. But that didn't come by accident. That comes with knowing what we want. And then, like you say, setting an intention every day of this is what we've got to get done. This is how we have to implement ourselves or work together to achieve our dreams, to achieve whatever that is. And Curtis, I like what you said. Look, I've found even recently, so awareness is the biggest key. And that's pretty much what we're talking about here. It's the first step in my 10 steps to achieve any outcome you desire, the very first step. Because if you're not aware of something, you can't do anything about it. You can't change it. You can't, you know, dream. You can continue to dream for something else.
You're like in the
but you
dark
can't
almost.
take action on it if you're not aware of it. So even this morning, like you said, I've done a lot of work on my anger, on my attitude, on who I, you know, would show up as. And even this morning, look, I've been working hard, right? With my 2 jobs, my family, this going on. I've been working, you know, quite a lot. And whether through exhaustion or whatever, I was experiencing aggravation lately. And I was able to recognize that this morning, right? Like you said, and it was in traffic, funnily enough, where I got not upset or peeved off or anything like that. I just noticed that my attitude was drifting towards aggravation. And I immediately corrected myself, saying, you know what? You cannot allow these thoughts to persist. Because again, I'll go back down that path, right? Which I am not going there again with, you know, all power in me. I am not becoming that person ever again. But if we allow these type of thoughts to sit with us, that's what we'll drift towards. That's what the ship, that's why I say the ship, this metaphor that we continue to use and be in that shining light where people can come to safe harbor. That's really what it's about. And that's what reflecting on your life will do. It's that beacon that you can head towards safe harbor. So you're heading in the direction you want to proceed. So what else do you guys do to create that life? What besides that, or what do you do in that 10 minutes? What are you setting your intention as? I know Linda has told us, but tell us more about what you do as thought leaders and maybe how other people can implement that as well.
Yeah, for sure, RJ. I like to do journal journaling. I do gratitude journal.
Mm.
I started doing journal prompts lately. So there's a bunch of stuff online. Obviously, you can find some journal prompts. It helps engage some like maybe old thoughts you've had or reflect on certain things, right? So I'm starting doing that. But normally I do gratitude journal. I do the I ams and some other like affirmation stuff I want to transpire from my life. So I do journaling as well. So it helps, as well as meditation, right? So you meditate on. Sometimes you just need to meditate on how to clear your brain and whatever thoughts you have into nothingness. It's the Zen style of meditation. Then there's also guided meditation can also help. Like maybe you want a certain thing, you like want certain joy or whatever it may be that you want. You can meditate that way too, right? There's lots of stuff on YouTube. I use Muse, which is like a biofeedback type of meditation device. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Go online, take a look. Something I like. I've used it probably over 5 years now. Ever since I did Achieve Today, they had that. You obviously pay a fair amount of money for the course, so they sent that out and a bunch of other stuff. So I've been using it ever since then. It's pretty cool. I like it. So I don't know. Do you guys meditate at all, RJ, Linda?
I do on occasion, but it's not like I can say every day at 5 o'clock I'm going to meditate. What
Yeah.
happens is I get more in a situation where I'm aware that I'm really just fighting to breathe.
Yeah.
I'm rushing around and I just need to like let a
Take a
load
moment.
off, right? And so that's when I
Okay.
have that awareness. I'm like, okay, I just
Yeah.
need to, sit for 5 minutes and
Yeah.
just do a little few Tai Chi moves. That's something that, and if someone introduced to me,
It's
and there's
good.
this one, it will give me instant relief. And
Yep.
it's all about this.
Yep.
And if I can do that like 3 times, then all of a sudden I can breathe easier. I'm paying attention. I can just take
Okay.
it down a level. Because just
Or
before
maybe
this,
up a level, perhaps.
yeah,
You never know.
this podcast, I was running around thinking, okay, I'm trying to transition from one thing to another. And when you're transitioning from one thing to another, whether it's a certain circumstance or
Mhm.
whether it's, making the transition in entrepreneurship, for example. So we all work full time and we're
Yep.
doing our passion, which is very much full time, then some, because we're driven to do these things.
Yes.
And I just like how our team is folding in and motivating and encouraging to each other. Not only do we keep each other on track, making sure that each thing that we're working on leads to the larger vision,
Mhm.
but we're also reminding each other that we're not superhuman. We're not Superman or Superwoman that has to keep going so much to get there. We find that we can actually, through our actions, do more when we know that each thing leads to the other, and we don't try to do like 20 different things because
Yep.
we have that shiny object that keeps grabbing our attention. Oh, we want to focus on doing this thing, and really like, nope, we need to come back and stay to the goal and just, that little nudge. Hey, can I help you with that thing that we're working on so we can get that deadline? Or I have something that I know will help you with your task. Can I share a tool with you? That's what we're doing each and every day. And so, the thing that I just wanted to convey to everyone that's listening, the doing, sometimes it's a little bit about being too, being
Yep.
aware about what we need and can focus on the right things and making sure we're not doing too much or
Yep.
that we are going off on the wrong direction. I mean, those are the things that I think what create the space for us to be able to work together and I see the talents that you guys have, right?
Yep.
So I value that. Maybe my talent might be getting us organized and keeping us on track as a project manager. But there's the times where that you put together these beautiful, gorgeous displays of our banners, of our promotional wording. I mean, RJ, you it just flows right out of you. If I have to sit down and do it, it might take me a little bit, but you've got what we're going to share for our messaging. We've got Curtis, he's always very positive, which, I can radiate with that too. And so really the 10 minutes is just to build your muscle.
Yep.
When you're not used to doing it. It's kind of like the Tai Chi. It felt a little weird and awkward at first, or meditation might have felt a little weird and awkward at first, but then I've had exposure, a few little tastes of it. And so I just incorporate it when I think it's necessary and it will help me and
Yeah.
help other people, to do the same.
Cool. Yeah. Excellent.
Yep. So, and I like what you touched on, because again, even the other day, I could see that you were stressed about the things that we had to do, and you weren't able to draw your attention to it. And you know what? There's no reason we should get that way, right? We are a team, and we know that a healthy mind is the reflection of a healthy body, and that's how we stay in that spiritual zone. We need to be creative. And so I don't want any of us to be stressful that, oh my God, we got to get this done, especially with the limited time that we have available to devote, right?
Mhm.
So, but by working as a team, look, it's that reminder, okay, you know what, you can't get to this today or whatever, but what if you did this? Can you just get this done, right? Whatever that may be. We're drawn to the attention, like you said, to the necessary task, to the task that needs to get done in order so we can progress just a little further, right? Which is the goal, which is the dream. Doing those little things every day to keep us progressing towards the ultimate vision. Curtis, like you said, I'm not a regular meditator. I don't devote time every day to meditation, but I do like guided meditations. I'll listen to audios with little that soothing voice that helps you now
Relax
feel
and focus
your
in.
body relax, feel it through your feet. You know what I mean? I do enjoy that. Not frequently, not a regular habit.
Could be. It should be.
And then but what I do is almost every day when I'm listening to the audios, I'm doing some work as I'm listening to audios, but I'll feel moved by what I'm hearing, and I'll just pause and listen and let it soak in and absorb the knowledge that I'm being imparted with. Like I listen to Wayne Dyer all the time. Dr. or John Maxwell, I listen to him all the time. So it's focused on a healthy mindset, a healthy spiritual being. And then, of course, I absorb everything to do with leadership, as I mentioned. And that's why that's become the focus of helping leaders and people, because it's never been more important, I say, for people to step up and lead. Whatever avenue of life, there's an expression I used to hate. And I still I don't hear it as much anymore, thank God. But the words, somebody should do something about that, right? Because now you're putting that burden on somebody, some nameless person who's not going to take up the task. But if this is passionate enough for you, if somebody should do something about that, why not you? Right? Why, if I have uttered those words, in fact, that was my boss who brought it up to me like 8-10 years ago. And he said, why not you? And I went, wow, what powerful observation, right? Because if it is passionate enough for you, why not you? If it's something that you think somebody should do, aren't you maybe that person? So we need those people to step up and lead the way, to carry their own vision forward for what this should look like.
Yeah, for sure. I think sometimes, like your boss said, you took that to heart and it's like, hey, maybe actually I can do something. And sometimes people just need that little kick in the ass, right? Say, hey, I can do something. I can be somebody. And I think that's what your boss did for you, and you did something about it. And that's awesome. You feel a lot better about that now, RJ, that you did something?
Absolutely. Again, it's led to me to taking responsibility for my own actions, right? That one sentence opened my eyes enough that I no longer put the onus on other people.
Yeah, it's good.
Right. Even from that point on, anytime a coworker came to me and said, oh, you know what, I need to find this out, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, I would go and get the information for them and come back to them, or, get something done for them, whether it be filling out a form or getting the manager to take action. I would step up and do that because, again, first of all, they're not, for whatever reason, they're not going to. And I want it to, like, again, it's something that needs to be dealt with. Yeah. So I take the onus and I take action, right? So that was the day I really started to change who I was and take responsibility. And then the other thing you mentioned is journaling. Now, I'm not a regular Journaler. I
Journaler.
love to write. I love to, put things into words. But I don't pick up a pen and just write my thoughts down, right? Usually it's writing with an intention, writing with a purpose.
That's still fine.
I don't just write down, how am I feeling? What am I working on?
Yeah.
How's it going? I don't do that.
Or what you
But
did
I
for the
do
day.
always take notes. If I find something of value that I need to
Yeah.
capture, I'll write it in a little notebook.
Okay.
Or a vision that I think needs to be pursued, I'll write that in a different notebook. So I got 2 or 3 notebooks that I carry
Okay.
in my pockets. One for ideas, one's for dreams, and one's for visions, right?
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yeah, so there's always different ways that we can continue to pursue our dreams or envision our dreams, and of course implement those in our dreams. Because
For sure.
look, we all have dreams and wishes, right? We all have
Yep.
desires that we want to achieve. But for most people out there, they remain desires. They remain
Mhm.
something that they're always going to aspire to and never going to achieve.
Yeah. It's like you're somebody thing.
spending-
Yeah.
Story, yeah, but by spending this 10 minutes, and then that's why, so Linda mentioned it, is developing that muscle, right? That's what it is. This 10 minutes that it was referring to, 10 minutes daily, so that you can build the habit of becoming more self-confident and more aware of who you are, where you're going, and again, how you're going to get there.
It's interesting, RJ, that you said you keep 3 notebooks. It's good because that is a part of journaling. You're writing something down that's inspiring you, right? So that's part of journaling. It's a different type of journal, but it's not like you're actually doing it at a specific time. You're doing it through a whole day. So that's pretty cool too. But then you look back on those notes, right? And you get more inspiration or you get better ideas from those other moments in time, right? So that's what journaling I think is all about. Just writing something down and reading about it later and just like, hey, I have this, so maybe I can expand on it or make it better or have that sort of thought because it comes in inspirational, right? Because the download, then you think, oh, I gotta write this down. I got a piece of paper, you do it right away.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you have those moments like, oh, remember, it's like, no, you're not gonna remember. You just write it down now. And I'm sure you've felt this. Is like, oh, I wrote this down. It's like, what did I write down? It's like, oh my god, I put this amazing thing down. I can use this. So see, that's good. So it's a form of journaling, but it's your own style. So it's not like a formal thing. Oh, hey, I need to sit down 5 minutes in the morning and do this. But you
Yeah.
found a way to do it your own way, which I think is good.
Absolutely. And that's why I love we have these discussions, because there's no one tried and true method, right? Nothing is exact. And this is the path you have to follow. And this is what you need to do. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful.
Yeah.
No, it's about implementing it yourself in your own techniques and your
Make
own
it your own,
style. Right. Even if you write it down, you don't journal, you don't even like picking up a pen, because some people are all digital, right? Maybe you write a text
your
message
phone.
and store it in your notes on digital, or maybe you pick up your phone and press that record button and you record a message into your phone. Whatever. It's all about taking down the image or recording that thought that you have in order to, like you say, reflect on it at some other time, going right. And you may not even know why you wrote it down. Like you said, you may not even know why this specific passage captured your attention, but you read it again, 3 months, 6 months down the road, and you're like, okay, what was that all about? And why did I write that? And you're like, oh my God, yeah, this would happen at the time. And if I use this and I put it into this project, right? Now you create a vision. Now you create your own passion and desires to implement. And don't forget, we've said it all the time, take action on, right? Because awareness, that's what my first step is awareness. And one of my last steps in the 10 steps is action, because nothing happens without action. And that's what this 10 minutes, reflect, learn, but implement, take action.
People can find your 10 steps on the website, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I have a download that people can have. It's a short book, a short version of my book, 10 steps in 10 pages is what I call it. But you know what? That's actually something I probably should do, because look, even if they just read the steps, the 10 steps, because I believe, and they came to me much out of the ether. I wrote a book based on 10 steps that I know if you implement and I call them steps in the book, but I probably should have called them keys, because like the master key of communication, these are keys that open doors, right? By being aware of your situations, your attitude, your behavior, your thoughts, your circumstances. You can move a little further. You can open one door and move forward, move a little forward. So they really are keys to implement. But again, these 10 little action steps that will change your life. Trust me, they've changed mine. I keep referring to them and I keep them top of mind, because you don't have to follow them in step. And that's why I say they're not really steps. You don't have to follow them step by step. But if you learn these 10 techniques, wow. I can't even, they're just a game changer. So yeah, they can go to my website and pick up or our website, beaconofleadership.com, and pick up the 10 steps, 10 steps in 10 pages, which is one of our downloads.
Perfect.
So thank you for that little plug there, by the way.
Yep. It's all about, right? You got
So
people
guys, we've
website,
had a great
take a look.
discussion so far. Is there any wrap-up topics? What have we picked up from today, or what do people need to learn or take away from today?
I think just
What-
self-awareness. That's my one word.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
And
Linda.
really taking away the fact that there is multiple ways to get there and to develop your own way. You can look to other leaders and what you find that you admire and want to implement and take pieces of that. But at the end of the day, make it your own. Make it your own and go forth and conquer with that. I see too many people that want to emulate somebody else when they have something really great to offer. And the moment they learn how to craft it to be their own and then lead with that, they take off.
And I think also just like ask yourself the right questions
Mhm.
to reflect on. So like, am I using my time wisely? Am I doing the right thing? Is this in my values? Right? Sometimes people don't understand their values and like, oh, hey, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Like if you're a Christian, you're not gonna go, do bad things that are non-Christian, obviously, right? So something like that. That's my question. Just ask yourself the right questions, and if you think you are an angry person, there's help out there. If you're a happy person, there are other happy people that you can hang out with, right? So there's always answers out there for whatever question you have, and just go and search it. Basically, is how I think about it. Because you can learn anything, no matter how old you get, you can always learn something, either on your own or through other people, right?
Yep. And so I love a quote to wrap it up. Look, because it is about creating your own. It's about building your own life, regardless of whether you're in a job or whether you have a family to raise or whatever. So many people are not living their dreams. They're not living that lifestyle that they want to truly live. It's always a dream for them.
Yep.
So I love this Jim Rohn quote that always inspires me, that if you don't get busy making plans, you'll become part of somebody else's. Right. And that's why so many of us have a job. Look, we all have a job. We got to pay the bills, but we're working towards creating that dream for ourselves. Right. We're doing something for our own passions, for our own desires. And that's why we're doing this. That's why we're telling people these messages, because it's about you out there. It's about you living your ideal life and not just working because you have to, or this is what you're forced to do, because honestly you're not forced to do anything, right? No matter what. I told my daughter this one time and she tried to debate me, is that I work for myself. She's like, no, but you have a job. I said, yes, but if I didn't want that job, I could leave that job. I can go find something else. But then you'd have to work for somebody else, maybe. But I'm still working towards my own thing. But I make the choice of whether I want to be employed by that person, work with these people, do this task. I make that choice. And then I have to suffer all consequences that come along with making that choice. So again, like I said, I believe it's about, for those people out there who are listening to this, creating your own dreams and then taking that time to reflect on who you want to become, and then taking up the challenge to go and implement this. And we've given everybody like an abundance of techniques that they can use to create that dream.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like it, and ring the bell, and leave a comment. Let us know if you're out there to ask a question. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. All right.
Absolutely. And don't forget, you guys can find more about what we do, what we're working on, and the vision that we're trying to create at beaconofleadership.com.
Perfect.
So until next time, this is RJ Horner, Beacon of Life and Leadership, along with our team.
And Curtis Leong, beacon of positivity.
And Linda Tilson, Beacon of Team Empowerment.
And thank you guys for joining us today. This has been a great discussion, and I hope you guys took something away from it. So please come out and join us again next Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, for more of our discussions in Leaders Lighthouse.
Awesome.